Thank God you're here. My name's Colonel J-Dog Samaggio, lead adventure guide at the Centennial Hills Outpost. I don't have much time. My partner on this expedition, Dr. Gilmore Hawk, has just stolen the sacred jewels from the ancient values altar we just discovered. I chased him down but lost him somewhere in the jungle. The neighboring villages won't last long unless we return those jewels soon. I'm assembling a team and I need your help. I'll be back in 3 days' time to answer any questions. Stay safe, adventurers. Hi everybody, my name is Jordan Samaggio. I'm the summer camp director at the Centennial Hills YMCA. We'll just give everybody a couple minutes to come on in, and then we'll welcome you to ask any questions that you may have of our summer camp program, and I'll be happy to answer them. We'll be doing this live session to about 6:45, 7 o'clock. Feel free to come in and out. We'll also save this live session to our Facebook page so that you can reference it. At the end of the live session, I'll announce some special announcements about a couple special things that we're doing with our camp program. So be sure to come back if you leave us at any point during the live session so you can hear those special announcements.
All right, we have our first question. What are some of the activities the kids do all day?
That's a really great question. I think the easier answer would actually be, what don't the kids do all day? One of the really great things about Y Camp and what makes Y Camp stand out from other day camp programs is how comprehensive our program is. We keep kids physically active through games, sports, swim time, and at some locations, park time. We also make sure that we combat summer learning loss. So on average, students lose approximately 30% of the information that they gain during the school year when they're on summer break, because the learning stops. But at the Y, we want to combat that, and we do that through STEAM activities, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. We do that through literacy activities, and we also do that through building character development. So on top of that, we have a variety of specialty camp offerings. We have arts and crafts, we do skits, we have field trip options, we do art and science specialty camps, we do sports, and so on. So there's just everything that you can possibly think of in a day camp experience. It's incorporated and it's available here at the Y.
Okay, and do you take the children on field trips?
We certainly do. Field trips are an option that parents can sign up for in addition to our traditional camp experience. There are two ways to go about this. We have our off-site specialty camps. That is when kids go on a different field trip Monday through Thursday in the afternoon. They spend the rest of the time with their traditional camp friends. For those that would prefer to do the traditional camp experience but occasionally upgrade to a field trip, we do offer a handful of one-day field trips. There's a one-day field trip, for example, to go horseback riding through Horses for Heroes, and there's another one-day field trip, for example, that will go to the NBA Summer League so that the campers can watch a game.
All right, what is the counselor to child ratio?
Great. At Y Camp, we really value safety. This is a paramount concern to us in everything that we do. So we have an industry-leading counselor to camper ratio of 1 to 12 for 5 to 7-year-olds and 1 to 15 for 8 to 15-year-olds. So we were talking a little bit about field trip options. If I remember correctly, that was the question. And we were talking about those off-site specialties where you can go Monday through Thursday, and then those one-day options where you can just do a one-day field trip to, for example, go horseback riding, or to go to watch an NBA Summer League trip. And then we were transitioning and talking a little bit about our ratios, about our 1 to 12 ratios with our 5 to 7-year-olds, and then our 1 to 15 ratios with our 8 to 15-year-olds. And like I was saying, that is just much smaller than the overwhelming majority of schools, and it just is a testament to the fact that we just value safety as a paramount concern, and that allows campers to actually have opportunities to bond directly with their camp counselors or their adventure guides during the course of the summer.
Okay, and how does somebody get financial assistance for camp?
That's wonderful. This year, we are pleased to announce the launch of the all-new Camp Financial Assistance Program. through the generous support of donors, we're able to make sure that our programs and services are available to all, regardless of income, so long as funds and space are available. The new Camp Financial Assistance Program is much more streamlined than our former financial assistance program. All one needs to do is visit a YMCA welcome desk and collect a simple application. We will respond to you once we receive the application and the supporting materials within 10 business days, and most of the time we respond to you much quicker than that.
What makes Y Camp different from other camps?
Wonderful. That is my favorite question to answer. It's one of the reasons that I decided to work for the Y. Y Camp is an extraordinarily comprehensive and wholesome program. If you're looking for games, sports, swim time, park time, and other activities to keep your little one actively engaged, this is the program for you. If you're looking for activities to combat summer learning loss, where children lose up to 30% of the information that they gained during the school year during summer break because the learning stops, what the Y, we combat that through STEAM activities or science projects, literacy activities, arts and crafts, humanities, and character development. If you're looking for field trip options, we have those. If you're looking to emphasize on a particular sport, a particular art, or a particular science, we have those.
What does my child need for camp?
Great. So that depends on the branch. Some of our branches offer a complimentary lunch and afternoon snack. For those campers, all they need to pack is a backpack with their swimwear, so a towel, flip-flops, their bathing suit, sunscreen, and goggles. In addition, we ask that you still pack a morning snack for them. When they come to camp, they should come in play clothes that's weather appropriate, and that can get wet or dirty because that's the whole point of camp, is to get messy and have a ton of fun. At the Centennial Hills location, it's the same thing. We want to pack a backpack with our swimwear, our sunscreen, our flip-flops, our goggles, all of those fun things. But because our branch doesn't participate in the complimentary lunch and afternoon snack, parents should also pack 2 snacks and an afternoon lunch. We ask that you pack only healthy items for your camper to eat and drink during the day, because that's something else that we emphasize throughout our program, is living healthy lifestyles.
And how do you contact your child during camp?
We have several ways of communicating with the camp staff, the camp administration, and with your camper directly throughout the day. The first and easiest way to contact the administration would be to contact them through email or their direct line, and the contact information can be found on our camp guide and our parent handbook on our website or at the welcome desk. The website is lasvegasymca.org/camp. Now, if you need to make a quick call to find out the status of your child, see how they're doing during the day, you can call the camp hotline. And that is the camp director's work cell phone that they carry on their person throughout the entire camp day. They're more than happy to pick that phone up as soon as they can, ask how they can assist. If they need to check up on your camper, they're happy to do that. They can hand them the phone if need be, or if you need to communicate an important message to the camp director, you're welcome to use that camp hotline as well. In addition to those methods, we use camp newsletter. We have text message reminds by alert, and so much more, text message alerts by remind, and so many other methods, because we value the parent administration combination to propelling positive youth development journeys.
Hey, how and when do I pay my balance for camp?
So when you sign up for camp, all that you need to pay is a deposit. For traditional camp, that would be $10 per week. For specialty camps, that would be $25 per week. The remaining balance needs to be paid by the Wednesday preceding each week. So if you are registered for week 1, payments for week 1 are due next Wednesday, because that is the Wednesday before the first week of camp.
And how much is Y Camp?
Y Camp has a varying price structure. We charge $155 per week for traditional camp for ages 6 and up. For our 5-year-olds, we charge $165 per week. We'll pick up where we left off, and the question was the cost of Y Camp. And I was starting to answer that question by explaining that Y Camp has a varying price structure because we have different options and we have tons of them. So our first option is traditional camp, and that's what most campers decide to partake in. That would be what I was describing before, all the games, the sports, the crafts, the science experiments, the literacy activities, the park time, the pool time, all of those fun things. On top of that, we've got the specialty camp options that we'll discuss in a little bit. For traditional camp, we charge $155 per week for ages 6 and up, and we charge $165 per week for 5-year-olds. We also charge a daily rate of $50. On top of that are our specialty camp options. So every week we offer an art and science specialty camp. That's where campers get to step out of traditional camp for a few hours in the morning to engage in a more involved art and science curriculum. So they'll engage in a variety of art and science projects outside of the traditional camp group in a more intimate group. The cost for that is $190 per week, regardless of age. They will do that Monday through Thursday. Now that price includes traditional camp. So the rest of the time, Monday through Thursday, they spend in traditional camp at no added cost. And then on Friday, they don't go to specialty. They spend the entire day having fun with their traditional camp friends. We also have sports specialty camps. Every week we assign a specific sport. We have basketball, we have volleyball, we have lacrosse, we have football, we have cheerleading. What they'll do is they'll, same thing, Monday through Thursday in the morning, pull the camper out of traditional camp to engage in those more involved curriculums around that sport. We focus on teaching the fundamentals through skirmishes and drills that are fun and that also teach positive sportsmanship. The cost for that is $175 per week. On top of that, we have weekly field trip camps, Monday through Friday. Those are offered on most of our summer camp weeks. The cost there is $235. That is a different field trip Monday through Thursday. And like our other on-site specialty camps, the rest of the time the campers will spend in traditional camp at no added cost. And I'm not even done yet because we have a ton of one-day add-ons to incorporate. We have Camp Late Night, our ever-popular Camp Late Night program, where campers get to stay for a few hours afterwards. We've got one-day field trips and just so much more, Friday socials. So take a look at that camp guide, and all of those programs are outlined for you with the cost.
Okay, so if my 3-year-old and 8-year-old would they be in the same camp or in different camps?
A 3-year-old would be participating in our preschool camp. That is a half-day program from 9 a.m. to noon. The older kiddo is more than welcome to join in our traditional summer camp experience, and that is that full-day program from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. But because they're in 2 different experiences and 2 different ages, they will be separated into 2 different groups.
Okay, if my child gets sick and misses a day, is there a refund?
That depends. For the most case, we won't refund or prorate for one missed day. However, if the missed days exceed 2 camp days and the parent provides a doctor's note, we're more than happy to work with that circumstance to see how we can best meet the family where their needs are.
Okay, and where do I drop my child off in the morning?
That's a great question. So something that I'll talk a little bit more about at the end of the live event, but something that I'll do a little snippet about because you asked the question. There are 2 different ways to drop off. There's the traditional way that we've always done where you drop off at the table. But this year we are also announcing our curbside drop-off. So that will occur for approximately 1 hour, the first hour of camp, about 7 to 8, though some branches may go a little bit longer, and allows parents to drop off without even getting out of their car.
All right, let's see some other questions. All right, let's see, somebody asked, okay, here we go. My child is not a strong swimmer. How will the Y accommodate that?
That's a great question. Something that's another really great thing about the Y is that we provide a program that meets children regardless of ability and interest. So for starters, swimming is a completely optional activity. For someone that doesn't like swimming or fears swimming or is not a strong swimmer, they don't have to participate in that activity. We do provide a non-swim option. For those campers that want to participate in swimming, they will go out to the pool. They will need to complete a swim test, which involves swimming from one end of the pool to the other. If they complete the swim test, then great, they will get a green swim test pass wristband, and they can swim freely in the pool. However, if they struggle with swimming and don't pass the swim test, or maybe they don't want to take it, and that's perfectly fine too, the Y will provide them with a life jacket and will encourage them to stay in the shallower ends of the pool. Of course, like I said earlier in the live, safety is of paramount concern. Not only are we within ratio outside in the pool with our camp counselors, but we also have a ton of lifeguards watching for the safety of your little one.
Okay, and what if your child has to take medication? Can the Y administer it?
Absolutely. All that we require for medicine administration, is that you complete a medication authorization form. Those can be found online or at our welcome desk. You would drop that form off anytime, or you can drop it off on the day that you drop off the medication. You would drop off the medication to your child's camp director, and the child's camp director would be the one responsible for administering the medication.
Okay, and can I pick my child up early?
Absolutely. We recommend that children are dropped off by 8 a.m. and that they're picked up after 4 o'clock. But if you want to pick up early for one day because of a specific appointment, or every day because that's your preference, that is not a problem at all. We just ask that you're a little extra patient when you're coming to pick up at the sign-out table because all of our adventure guides are out in the various age groups engaging with the kids, so no one's there to man the table. We would just ask that you go up to our front desk. They can radio for somebody to come out, and we'll get the camper out as quickly as possible.
All right, we have someone asking if they have family in town, can my child bring their cousins or family member for one day as a guest?
Absolutely. The guests would just get charged that daily traditional camp rate of $50. As long as they're within that age for our program, the 5 to 15, they're more than welcome to join in on the adventure just for a day. In fact, we have a lot of campers who bring in family members or friends for 1 or 2 days during a week, just to kind of enhance that experience for the little one.
Okay, and does my child have to show proof of immunization?
If your child is entering our preschool camp, that's for the 3 to 5-year-olds, and that is that half-day program, then we do ask for both a birth certificate and proof of immunizations. If you are entering the traditional camp program for the 5 to 15-year-olds, the full-day program, we only ask for the shot records. There is a religious exemption form, if that's a concern for you, that we can go ahead and hand you.
Okay. Do you allow children with special needs?
Absolutely, yes. We ask that you coordinate with your child's camp director ahead of time, just so that we can create a plan of action if one's necessary. But we strive to provide a program that's accessible to all, regardless of ability. And our goal is to make sure that every child, regardless of special needs or not, has the same great experience with us.
Okay, and how often do the children go outside?
That is branch specific. Most of our branches do utilize the neighboring parks. There have been several studies that have described the importance of outdoor play and outdoor exploration for positive youth development journeys. And so if we have a neighboring park next to our YMCA, we take full advantage of that. But again, safety is our paramount concern, and so we only go in those cooler mornings. We spend no more than 60 minutes out there. We provide shaded rest options with hydration stations. We constantly remind the campers to apply sunscreen, and when it gets too hot, we always adapt.
And can my child come if they speak very little English?
Absolutely. Connect with your camp director, because one of the things that we value in our staff team is not only how highly qualified they are, but also how diverse they are. So it may be the case that one of your child's camp counselors is in fact someone who speaks your child's native language. And if that's not the case, the camp director will work directly with you to make sure that the child feels welcomed in camp and has the same enjoyable experience as everybody else.
Okay, and is lunch provided at camp?
So we do provide a lunch and an afternoon snack at 3 of our locations, our Heinrich, our Skyview, and our Durango Hills locations. At the Centennial Hills location, we ask that the parents pack a healthy lunch and 2 healthy snacks.
Right. And we already answered that one. So, can they bring electronics to camp?
We will provide everything that the child needs for their day of camp. Aside from that camper checklist that I mentioned earlier today, now I'm happy to repeat if any new parents would like to pose that question. Everything else can stay at home. So those electronics, those toys, they prove to be a distraction to the camp experience because instead of playing games, a child will always instead want to rather play on their phone. They also often lead to bullying behavior, and more often than not, they just get lost or damaged in camp. So we say keep the toys and electronics at home. We'll provide everything that they need to have fun here at the Y.
Are there scholarships available to help with costs?
We do have an excellent scholarship program. Again, one of the things that the YMCA strives to do is to make sure our programs and services are accessible to all, regardless of ability or income. We do this through the generous support of donors. This year, we are pleased to announce the launch of the all-new Camp Financial Assistance Program. This is a much more streamlined application process than our prior financial assistance program. It's very easy to apply. Simply visit a welcome desk and ask for the Camp Financial Assistance application. Return it with any supporting documentation, and we will get you a decision within 10 business days, although most of the time we can get you a decision much sooner.
Okay, is there a discount for siblings?
We do not currently offer a sibling discount, but there are ways to reduce the cost of summer camp. We could do the Camp Financial Assistance route. We could also go through the Summer Sizzlin membership route. The Summer Sizzlin membership is a 4-month membership for 2 adults and everybody in the house, and every child in the household rather, for $199. It's an excellent deal. It sells out very quickly because one of the benefits of it is 10% off of programs, including summer camp. So although we don't offer sibling discounts, there are other ways to reduce the cost of summer camp.
The lunches that you provide, do they need to be nut-free?
We do ask that. The YMCA is a nut-free zone, so we do ask that you please refrain from sending your camper to camp with any nut product.
Okay, do I have to be a member for my child to attend camp?
Absolutely not. Your child themselves can be a YMCA member or program participant. You do not have to be.
How do you handle behavior issues?
We have, like everything else that's part of our curriculum, a very wholesome approach. Child behavior is not something that can be quantified in specific steps. It is varying by circumstance and by child, and so our approach is varying by circumstance and by child. But we recognize that as a summer camp program, our program is designed to be 11 hours of constant fun, and so it's not unusual for behavioral issues to occur. In those circumstances, we do have various plans of action. Typically, the first step is to simply warn the child. So the adventure guide will simply warn the child to please stop doing their behavior, or they will redirect the child into a different activity or into positive behavior. The second step, should the behavior continue, the adventure guide will take the child to the side and have a more meaningful conversation to really get down deep to what really is going on and how we can resolve it so we can turn our day around. If the behavior continues beyond that point, the camp director will be called in to sit down with the camper. At that point, sometimes parent conferences are necessary, sometimes about my day reports or reports that we send home to inform you of your child's day become necessary. As a last resort, and I mean this sincerely, sometimes suspension and expulsion is necessary. We leave those as a last resort unless the child's behavior poses a risk, a safety risk to themselves or to others.
Okay, and if my child's birthday falls during a day they are at camp, can I bring in a treat for their group?
We love that, absolutely. Please just connect with your camp director ahead of time so that we can tell you how many campers are in your child's group. The 2 limitations that we have are, 1, we ask that you provide enough for everybody in the camper's group, and 2, we ask that there are none of those allergens contained. So that would be peanuts and soy and things of that nature. So we also, have a third request, and that is that everything come in prepackaged factory sealed components. So we unfortunately can't hand out homemade goods because we can't verify the ingredients.
Okay, and what happens if I'm late to pick up my child?
So our program operates from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The cutoff time to pick up your child is at 6 p.m. If an emergency were to arise where you would have to pick up late, we would ask that you call the camp hotline. That's the camp director's work cell phone, just to let them know that you're running a little bit late so that we can tell the child and make them feel at ease and make alternate arrangements. It occasionally happens where we unfortunately have to charge a late pickup fee simply because we have to continue paying staff to remain past their shift in order to care for the child. At a certain point, if we don't hear back from the parent, then unfortunately it becomes a matter outside of our control that has to be handled by Child Protective Services. It's usually a 30 to 45 minute period outside of that.
Okay, and can I register my child for preschool in the morning and camp in the afternoon?
You certainly can. Because 5-year-olds are eligible both for our half-day 9 to 12 program, and 5-year-olds are eligible for our traditional camp experience from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., it's perfectly fine for you to register for preschool camp and then for summer camp. And you can let us know of that so that we can transfer the child from preschool into the summer camp program. That way you don't have to inconvenience yourself and return to the Y to do that.
Okay, and we're going to ask a question that we asked before, but what makes Y Camp different from all the other camps?
That's my favorite question to answer. It's one of the reasons that I decided to make a career out of this position. Y Camp is an incredibly comprehensive and wholesome program. If you're looking to keep kids physically active, we have those activities. We have games, sports, swim time, pool time, and so much more. If you're looking to combat summer learning loss, that's where children lose up to 30% of the information that they learned during the school year over summer because the learning stops. Well, we have initiatives to combat that. We have STEAM projects, which are science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. We have literacy activities. We do arts and crafts, and we do all of these things in a fun way so that the campers don't even recognize that they are still learning over the course of the summer. And if you're looking to build tomorrow's leaders, if you're looking to help develop your child's character, we do that too through various initiatives ranging from our Y-Ties curriculum to skill building, conflict resolution, and the instillment of the Y's 4 core values in everything we do. And that's respect, responsibility, honesty, and caring.
I think we're good.
Okay, thank you everybody. We just want to make a couple of closing announcements. The first is, like I mentioned earlier in the live, we are proud this year to announce the launch of Curbside Drop-Off. Something that's really great about Y Camp is that every year we work to enhance our program. We listen to you and we implement that into action. This year, Curbside Drop-Off will be a program wherein parents don't even have to get out of the car to drop off their little one. It'll operate at least for the first hour of camp, and then some branches will operate that a little bit longer. So that again, all branches will do 7 to 8, and then some will do just a little bit later than that. Reason we stick with that 8 o'clock is that's the time that we recommend campers to be dropped off. In addition to that, we're also very pleased to announce our first Camper Challenge. So this year's theme is Adventure Awaits, where campers will complete various riddles and challenges to find the sacred jewels. And campers, we have your first challenge in today, and that is the Silly Picture Challenge. The challenge is to take a picture, a silly picture, of you getting ready for camp. Post it on Facebook and tag the YMCA. The silliest picture will get a free week of traditional camp. Second place, the second silliest picture, will get 50% off 1 week of traditional camp. And then the third silliest picture will get a hydro flask. And then last but certainly not least, this is only the tip of the iceberg in our attempt to tell you all about our program so that you start your first day without any butterflies and knowing everything that your child will get to experience. And for that reason, we have our parent information session. That is going to be on May 24th at 6 p.m. Simply RSVP by emailing the camp director or visit the welcome desk to let them know, and they'll give you the contact information and help you RSVP that way. Parent information session is not entirely like what we experienced today during our live event. It is an opportunity where the camp director will explain some important policies and procedures, and an opportunity for parents to ask questions much like right now. However, the unique thing about the parent information session is that campers are welcome to join, and while the parents sit and talk, the campers will go to another space with their camp counselors to play camp games. And this is always a very memorable thing that campers get to do before the summer starts. So we invite you, again, that's on May 24th at 6 o'clock at your respective YMCA camp branch. We ask that you please RSVP. We will have limited seating. You can do that by emailing the camp director. The contact information is on the camp guide and parent handbook, or can be retrieved at the welcome desk. Thank you everybody for joining us for our first annual Facebook Live Camp Q&A. We hope to see you at the parent information session. I look forward to meeting all of you during camp this summer. Thank you.